Dark Phoenix movie is finally out in theaters. This marks the 12th installment in the X-Men franchise. Spanning since the 2000s, the X-Men has more years than the MCU, but with just about half the movies. The Fox version of X-Men has a lore of its own, with even multiple timelines. But with all that, why is there no hype for the X-Men? Why has there been silence around the Dark Phoenix? There's been trailers and interviews here and there, but with a multi-million-dollar franchise, why does no one seem to care? The X-Men itself has been a long-standing pillar for Marvel. It has been the reason why so many people got into comics. X-Men is known for going on vast adventures into space, other dimensions, dinosaurs, things of that nature, but also dealing with grounded personal stories. The 90s cartoon brought in a new generation of kids to the Marvel Comics. It has a colorful cast, great villains, and giant robots. Where can you go wrong? I feel like people don't care because we've been here before. The X-Men has done the Dark Phoenix saga in X3. We see the story attempted before. Not only that, Days of Future Past did a soft reboot to fix the problems that X3 created. One of the glaring things, for me, Dark Phoenix's saga, a 2-hour movie won't cut it. It needs to be about 5 to 6 hours and broken down to 2 or even 3 parts. It's called a saga for a reason. Imagine the Hunger Games, the whole saga being made into 2 movies. That would be crazy. Another glaring issue is that there is no proper build-up. If the audience can't connect with the characters, when the characters lose things, people don't care. We kind of have a sense of what the X-Men is in the movies, or at least back then. We knew the archetypes. Cyclops was the Boy Scout, Wolverine was the loner bad boy, Jean Grey was soft-spoken, gentle-hearted, Storm had an African accent. Okay, maybe they weren't too well defined, but it's a better attempt than what it was now. If I go watch X-Men Apocalypse, I couldn't really tell you who Jean Grey was, who Cyclops, Nightcrawler, or even Jubilee is. They seem to be generic, but also, side note, Cyclops' eyeblass is not a heat laser, more like a laser that can punch. Anyways, the Dark Phoenix is also the end of an era type story. It would cap things off, not be in the middle. It's not just a one-off story. It has people that we know and care about because we know who they are. We know the internal struggles of characters. We know what each character wants. We know things what they like and don't like. That takes time and cannot be rushed. There are things that can be forgiven about the first 3 X-Men movies. Not excused, but forgiven, due to the times and how comic book movies were made. This is a different time though. We need to learn and grow with the X-Men before this tragic story of loss and love happened. And just because we know Jean Grey and Cyclops get together doesn't mean you can just force it. There needs to be some kind of chemistry and it needs to be believable. Another issue is that the lead of the X-Men movies being Mystique. I understand why it happened. Jennifer Lawrence is a big star to many young adults because of her role in the Hunger Games. She's also a big star and a good actor, but story-wise, Mystique is not a top-tier character. She does well as a villain, and the previous X-Men movies done her justice. Yes, they could have done more with her, but for what she was given, they did well. First Class kind of forces her into the story, but you accept it and roll with it because they're trying to do something different. Then, Days of Future Past happens, and I believe you see her character arc ends. Her being confused and not knowing who she is in the world, to her finally accepting the roles that was given to her. She won't be a killer, and she opens the door for mutants to not get judged on their appearances, more so for their actions. I mean, we know how the world works, but that's generally what happens. She gives mutants a fresh start. She could have left the franchise. I understand why she stayed though, so that she can be with the new cast being introduced to be more of a safe bet, but end up hurting them in the long run. Mystique does not need to be an X-Men. She is meant to be a villain, but I can settle with an anti-hero, possibly working behind the shadows to try and ensure the future of mutants. Maybe not have her be a killer, but being brutal if she needs to be. She shouldn't have been involved in X-Men Apocalypse, but I feel like I'm just nitpicking here. And that take too much time. Because Disney doesn't like the X-Men, because they don't have it, and until they own it, it's gonna go crashing to the ground. I mean, you see the Inhumans? They try to make the X-Men into the humans. The humans into the X-Men. And see, it's all part of the conspiracy plan. Disney really wants the X-Men and they can't have it, so they're gonna destroy everything of the X-Men until they finally have it, and then there has not been a cartoon for the X-Men in about 10 years. Like previously stated, it was the cartoons that got me into comics. I feel like it's the same for kids around my age, late 80s, early 90s kids. X-Men was one of those shows. It was a different media to consume and easy to digest. After X-Men, we got X-Men Evolution in the early 2000s, another gateway for a new generation while keeping in touch with the older generation from before. Then in 2008, we got Wolverine and the X-Men. This show was meant for a younger audience, but still could remind and satisfy the older generations. There has been consistent showing of X-Men comics before it just stopped. We need another cartoon. I have ideas that I'll explain in another video, but we don't need just one, but possibly 2 or even 3 cartoons, having different writers and possibly different art styles for each one, but still have them be all connected in some manner or fashion for crossover episodes. With channels like Disney XD and the new Disney streaming service, it can be possible to fund such a project. This generation needs a cartoon like the X-Men, a show that can deal with the tough social issues but can also be crazy, beautiful, action-packed, and fun. Something along the lines like a Young Justice type of thing. Not directly Young Justice, but in some sort of manner of that. For example, the Avengers cartoons has been going on for good years now. For example, the Avengers cartoons have been playing in between the movies. There's a different media for kids to consume while we wait for the movies. You may not like the show, but it's something that keeps the show in attention of the Avengers alive. Unlike with X-Men, we have nothing. And usually how it goes, out of sight, out of mind. So we need something in sight to keep the X-Men in mind. So in closing, solution 1. We need to care about the characters. We need time to learn who the X-Men are and the individual members. We need different stories that can flesh them out. If the X-Men can, at the very least, have basic archetypes of each character, you can make something work from there, and then build upon that. Solution 2. We need different medias to consume the X-Men. A cartoon can grab new audiences and bring in a new generation of readers. It will also keep the audience intention in line for the X-Men in between movies, so keeping the interest alive, and it's been way overdue. Remember, if they're out of sight, they're out of mind. And as always, thank you for watching.
No longer bleeding the way that we do.